Everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. So today we are tackling breakfast, getting ready for back to school, back to crazy life, and I think I'm going to leave it like this today for the most part. I don't know, it's kind of acting a little strange on the lighting, so we'll see how it goes. But what I want to do first is, of course, get, see, I don't know why it's acting so crazy. I don't know. I may have to move it. Anyway, turn this off. Maybe that'll help. All right. So, nope, that didn't help. I don't know why it's going in and out. The first thing I want to do, though, is get my oven working for me and getting my crock pot working for me. So, we are going to get some chicken in the crock pot for dinner tonight. And then we are going to get started on breakfast. And I have done the majority of breakfast cooking as far as pieces and parts for recipes go that I can, that I don't need the raw recipes. So yesterday, it was a noisy day in the house. It was a rainy day. Everybody was here. So I went ahead and cooked the bacon, cooked the sausage, cooked some scrambled eggs, all those things, so that we could get things put together today. Let me adjust this. That lighting thing is going to drive me insane. Okay, I think the lighting thing is because there is a huge window behind me, and so as I'm moving, the camera is constantly trying to adjust for the lighting. So we're going to try it this way, so you may not always see my face as I'm moving around. But you won't just see my hands. You'll actually kind of see my whole kitchen and all of its messy glory. So we're going to try this. So let's get the chicken in the crock pot. Get that taken care of. And I'm also thawing out a mystery packet that I found in the freezer. I can see corn and obviously tomato sauce and meat. So I have a feeling it was leftovers from either a chili or a burrito night. And so I'm going to go ahead and thaw that out. And whatever it was, I will turn it into a nacho burrito night. Because I need to get some of these other packets out of the freezer to make space for the freezer meals that I want in there right now. So what I'm doing, I have got some homegrown chicken here, and I just want to get the meat going so that we have chicken meat for the week. So I'm going to pull out the leg quarters. This looks like a whole chicken that I actually had taken the breasts off of. Sometimes I part my chickens up, and then sometimes I'll just remove the breasts for certain things that I want to do, but leave the rest of it together. Like if we're doing a lot of chickens, and that's what it looks like I had done there. Just going to keep this super simple. I put oil in the bottom. I'm going to throw some sea salt in there with it, and a little bit of pepper, and just let it roast. Now, let's get these Starbucks egg bites going. This is a Copycat are going to, let's see, does it make, it says serve 6. So we are going to at least double that. Let's see, can I quadruple it? I don't know that I can quadruple it. So let's make a double batch first, and then we'll see what we can do. Okay, so preheat the oven, spray a 12-cup muffin tin generously. And then combine the eggs, cottage cheese, salt, and pepper together in a blender. Blend until smooth. So I think what we're going to do is the immersion blender. Easy. All right, less to wash. So we're going to double this recipe. So we want 12 eggs. Oops. And I just washed all these. Though some of them, oh, there's a spider. Look at you. Where did you come from? Oh, he's a fast little one too. Okay. Don't know where the spider came from, but alrighty then. I need a bowl to crack these into. Here we go. Now these are my farm fresh eggs, and I have washed them. Some of them are stained. Woo! And very thin chilled apparently. Alright, we've got 12 eggs in here. Mine eggs, cottage cheese, salt, and pepper. Alright, so 1 cup cottage cheese. We're going for 2. So we actually may have enough to do double this recipe. Because this is a 24 ounce. So we only need half of it. This recipe. And then let's get regular salt. Pepper. Okay. And then we are going to stir in the cheese, which is going to be 1 cup of Gruyere. We have a Swiss and Gruyere blend. I doubled the recipe, doubling the cheese. We'll just use this spoon. And then top with bacon. Okay, now while that is cooking, we're going to get some burritos done. So I need parchment paper. So in this bowl we have hash browns, eggs, and cheese. And then I thawed out some already cooked turkey sausage, which had a little bit of egg in it as well. I'm just going to use one of these spoons. Mix this up. I actually don't like the way those fried eggs look. They were in that bag, so I'm going to just kind of toss those. They had already been in the freezer for a bit, but the scrambled eggs and hash browns and cheese mixture I cooked yesterday. And you can add onion and peppers and all kinds of things to this, which I have done. but we are keeping it simple. And just doing turkey, sausage, egg, cheese, and a little bit of hash brown. I think it's like half a bag, 3/4 of a bag. It's whatever I had left over after cooking a big breakfast casserole for dinner last night. I just did it all at the same time. So all I have to do today is assemble these burritos. And we're going to get some Ziploc bags to put these into. Way so I don't make mess. All right. Get a little bit bigger spoon actually. Just to make it a little bit easier. One breakfast burrito, and these are pretty hearty, so all you need is one. Already done. We're just going to power through this. Okay, so I just pulled out the Copycat egg bites, and the burritos are now in the freezer, and I think we've been working maybe 30 minutes. So now I'm going to make the oatmeal chocolate chip peanut butter banana breakfast cookies. I think my son will like those, and that'll give the egg bites a chance to cool. I can take them out of the muffin pans. Let me rewind. I can then take them out of the muffin pan so that we can make our next recipe that will need the pan. So that's what we're doing. So this is an easy recipe, and the reason I chose it is because it uses 3 large ripe bananas, and I have 3 large ripe bananas that once they start getting these black marks, my kids don't like to eat them. So they're perfect for making banana bread, things like that. I was not in the mood to make banana bread today, so I thought I would try these breakfast cookies so they would be easy to grab and go. They can also go in the lunchbox. So they're, I feel like they're very versatile. Not that banana bread's not, but I'm really trying hard to avoid, one, buying any processed foods for the kids, 2, having it in the house. I don't particularly like Little Debbie's cookies or anything like that, so it's not typically something that I would want to eat, so I can easily resist it, but it's terrible for you. So I don't want my kids having it either. But at a hard day of school, sometimes they need a little pick-me-up. And so these, with all the natural ingredients, with the potassium and the protein, will be a much better option. So we're just going to mash these bananas up with a fork. I totally could use my KA mixer right here, but then I have to dirty it up, and I don't think I'm going to for this. All right. And then we're going to add oats, peanut butter, and chocolate chips. So let's go with the peanut butter, which of course I'm using sun butter because we don't use peanut butter in this house. And it is 1 cup, which is pretty much all I have left in this jar. If I was baking this like a cake or something, I would probably be more inclined to measure this exactly. But since it is a cookie, I am not going to. All right. And I'm going to mix that in with this banana a little bit because it's dry on the bottom. These natural peanut butters and nut butters, the oil tends to rise to the top. And so after you get down in the jar, even if you try to mix it, the very bottom of the jar always dry to me. All right, so that's better. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the honey in here as well because that'll add more moisture when I add the dry ingredients. And this is our homegrown honey. I'll measure this. I second guessed myself there. All right. And then we're going to put in our oats. I use honey every morning in my coffee since I no longer can have sugar, like refined sugar. And so my jar is always sticky because I'm in and out of it every day. Okay. And then, so oats, we're doing 2.5 cups. So I have a 1/2 cup measure, so there's my half. There's my 1. And there's my 2. And then a 1/3 cup chocolate chip. 2 teaspoons cinnamon. Cinnamon is fantastic. I don't think you can have enough cinnamon. And a pinch of salt, which I think a pinch of salt goes in everything you're baking. So that's my FYI for the day. I got my whisk, my Dutch whisk out. I don't think I'm going to need it. Alright. And the last is scoop it out with a cookie scoop, form balls, pressing dough. And then bake. So, here we go. It says to use parchment paper. Hands here. So let me grab some parchment paper. I'll just use one of those sheets left over. There we go. Oh, look, perfect fit. Wow. I couldn't do that that if I tried. Alright, so let's get the egg bites out. And we'll let them cool. Okay, now we really can't see me. Okay, so we have finished up the cookies, the burritos, and the Starbucks egg bites. So I'm going to get the cookies put away, and we're going to do our last one, which is crazy good cheesy sausage muffins with no Bisquick. So let's get going. And as you can see, my children have already been into the cookies, and they have met with approval. So we are good to go on those. All right, so with the last one, I'm going to save myself a lot of headache, and we're going to use muffin cups. All right, so with this one, we are going to preheat to 400. I did 350, so let me go back and adjust this. And sausage is already cooked. And then a large bowl whisked together flour. I'm going to use unbleached, all-purpose. I try to stay away from carbs, so I probably will not eat these. And then we are doing 2 cups. Now these say no Bisquick, which I'm sure you could use Bisquick if you have it. I'm trying to make these as healthy as possible. I hope I didn't lose count on that. 1 tablespoon baking powder. Salt. It's going to be a half a teaspoon of salt. And sugar if not using maple syrup. Stir the cooked sausage and cheddar cheese together And this is 2 cups grated sharp cheddar, and I am using white cheddar. And then 1 pound of cooked sausage. Clumps here I want to get out. Alright, and then in a small bowl, whisk together the milk, egg, and maple syrup. I am just going to pour directly into here. So that's 1 cup of milk. I'm using that is whipping cream, heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to finish it off with some half and half because that is what I need to use up in my fridge. And then 1 tablespoon maple syrup. Egg. That is the second time I have done that today. And I just got it all over. This box underneath my feet. Sacrifice a kitchen towel. Okay, let's try that trick again. Got a chicken is laying thin shelled eggs. All right. Now the one thing I am changing is this reminds me of like the holiday sausage ball recipe. So I am actually going to add, instead of just adding butter to finish this off, I am going to add some cream cheese. And I've already melted all that down. Cooled it back off. That's going to add some extra moisture into this as well. And this dough very much reminds me of a sausage ball. Spoon into muffin tins. But I think I'm going to use my fingers to make sure it's fully incorporated there. right, everybody, so we are going to wrap up our freezer breakfast cooking day here. I did not end up making some muffins, but I think because I have a few different recipes I want to try, along with some pancakes, I think I'm just going to do a second freezer cooking day in the next week or so and do like all the sweet breakfasts. But we did all the savories today, minus the peanut butter cookies. But this is what we got done. We got 14 breakfast burritos, and I'm not sure how many egg bites. I think it was 20 that I have left after my daughter got into them, and we were like too short. So it was 24, 22, 21. So I have 21-ish egg bites from the Starbucks Copycat recipe. We have the peanut butter banana chocolate chip oatmeal breakfast cookies, and we have the ones that just came out of the oven, which is the cheesy sausage muffins, and they did fluff up quite a bit. I'm really excited about those. They look good. So that will get us through quite some time, and then once I bring in the pancakes and the muffins, this will spread out even more. But for just a couple hours on a day, we've got plenty of breakfast foods for the freezer and the fridge for the next few weeks. And I still have quite a bit of cooked bacon and cooked turkey sausage, and I may just go ahead and freeze that for the next time I need to do this. I'll already have that part done. So in fact, I can add that to my already done list because this was prep work. So I'll combine these two. I'll have 1 gallon of cooked breakfast sausage left, and I have a whole pack of bacon already left. So that will be perfect to make more of the breakfast Starbucks, and plenty of sausage to make more of the breakfast burritos. So that's already done. I'm still getting plenty of eggs in, so we have quite a bit. I just need some more cheese basically, and we're good to go. I can make a whole nother batch of this. So thank you for hanging out with me today as we prepare for back to school and get probably a month's worth, I would say, of school breakfast done. Maybe not quite a month, because my husband really loves these, and he will probably like these too. But I would say a couple weeks at least, and then hopefully I'll get the other cooking day done with the sweets, and that will get us through at least a month. So, and then I will start with some fall-themed breakfast ideas. So come back next week, and I'll see you then. Like and subscribe if you are new, and if you're not, thank you for hanging out. See you later.